What's up? Potential 1000. Welcome. No, what am I saying? Welcome to Full Potential 1000, and I am Mpo Malimabe. Today I wanted to speak about age. What I feel about age. Let me start with how I saw age when I was younger. When I was around 8 years, let's say 10 years, 11 years, I thought that children from the age up until the age of 12, they are unresponsible and are meant to play, not meant to understand their emotions, their own emotions or emotions of other people. Basically, they cannot comprehend the things that teenagers, adults think, what they think children cannot comprehend. I used to think that by that time. And I thought adults are like the superior. I thought that adults are the almighty, like they are the ones that know. They know the world. Like once you're an adult, you know the answer. That's what I thought when I was young. I really thought that. And you'd always see, I'd go to, not everybody, but I'll go to certain people that are adults and ask them for answers of my questions. But sometimes I didn't need their answers because most of the things that I know because I was out there. And sometimes, even in my teenage years, I started not being out there, but being in the internet phase. Really deep into the internet phase. But yeah, I'm still young, 8 years old, and I thought that adults are the all-knowing. I thought they had everything. Like, they are the smart ones. They are the strong ones. I expected them to be all great and stuff. So when I saw an adult that was, let me just make an example, because there's this scenario that happened back in my past life, man. Back in when I was young. In my street, there was this guy was cool now, but he's super old. But probably now he's like 40 something because he looks old. But back then, I'm sure he was 30 something. But I was super young, maybe 8, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, around there. But this dude, now I can see that this nigga had problems, like trauma. This nigga was a child in a man's body now. But back then, this dude would be like, he would be drunk almost every fucking day. Whether he had money or he didn't have money. If he didn't have money, he'll find that booze and he'll get drunk. Crazy shit, man. But eventually this one day, he's drunk. And I'm out here playing with my friends. And then we're like, hey, ain't that Uncle? I'll call him Uncle C. But I didn't call him Uncle. I didn't call nobody who is not related to me by blood Uncle. Fuck that. Just had that in me. But we were like, hey, ain't that Uncle C? I'm like, yeah, it is. If he comes here, he's gonna be disrespectful. He's gonna swear at us. And it gets scary because we're scared of him, because he'll get mad at stupid shit and just want to beat people, even kids. So we're kids at a time, and we're like, just stay quiet, just don't speak. But at the same time, I want to stay quiet, but there's this thing inside of me from when I was young. I didn't like to submit to a person or get dominated. I hated that so much that when I was young, it boiled up, like it was anger. Like I didn't want that shit. I hate it. So I'm out here quiet, but if you would look at me, you'll see that this nigga is quiet, but he's angry because I had this expression like I was angry. So I was looking at him like this and pissed off like, oh, just keep on going, bro. The nigga peeped that. He saw. It's like, hey, why are you looking at me like that? Why are you looking at me like that? I'm like, what do you mean? What do you mean? I don't notice. I didn't notice myself that I'm looking at him at that way. But he sees it. He's like, why are you looking at me like that? And he gets mad, keeps on pressing me, asking me that question until he's so mad that he starts to grab me like, don't you dare look at me like that. Huh? I'll beat you and you're gonna call your mom. At this point, I'm like, resolve to quietness, like stay quiet. And I stayed quiet. And then the dude stayed silent. And then he left me. They left me. But how did I take that? I took that as I must be wrong. I must be wrong. How I look at people is wrong. And from now on, I should be careful with how I look at people. That's how I took it as a child. Why? Because I saw adults as the absolute. I couldn't see that this guy is a child like me. Only that he is older than me. But he has traumas, angers, and whatever things he hasn't resolved by himself, and now it's just spreading to everybody. I didn't know that. And how could I? Because I was super young. But I took it as that. And sadly, I started to notice how I looked at people. I feared looking at people eye to eye. Eye contact. I couldn't do this. I was always trying to be sure that I shouldn't look at you that way. When I felt like I'm making an expression that could anger you, I'll change it. Sadly, that happened, but now I don't do that no more. I don't do that no more. Especially now, if I find you looking at me for too long, I look at you back like this. We could have a staring contest until you get mad and I just look at you. I'm like, motherfucker, you look at me. So now I'm glad that I forgave myself and I'm like, let go. You're the power. But back then, I took it like that. And going on forward, so that's how I saw adults at a younger age. That's how I saw them. But then I became 13 years old, a teenager. I'm excited. Oh man, I'm a teenager. Oh, puberty is about to happen. I'm about to have pimples and shit. Now I do, but I'm not liking them because they piss me off. They're a bit too painful and they're all over the place, man. Relax. But now I'm a teenager. And around the age of maybe 14, 15, somewhere there. Oh, where was it? I don't remember. But when I was in grade 8, that's when I got exposed with YouTube. I got exposed to the videos of self-help, self-love, self-reflection, especially self-reflection. That's the one that hit me the most. So I heard telling me basically you should reflect on yourself, understand yourself. Who are you? Reflect on the things you did to find the patterns of how you move. So now I'm in grade 8 and I did that. And at that time span, a lot of things was happening to me, so that made me like traumatized still. And I'm glad that I did resolve it. Like right now, not truly resolve it, but it's way better now. Because back then I was like super, like I had a heated anger. But I don't now. I'm glad. But then I reflected on me. I started to reflect on me and I remembered the things that I did when I was younger. When I was younger, I remember when I was younger, I had a traumatic experience of my father. He was basically choking my mother, and I tried to stop him, and he choked me too. So ever since that experience, I started having anger issues, and it wasn't even anger issues. It was a way to protect myself, so that never happens to me ever again. So I would beat every kid. If my friend comes to me and says certain so and so is not scared of you, he said that to me, I'm like, oh, bad. Oh, let's go, and I fight him. Even though I know inside that I don't really want to fight him, but there's this thing inside me that says you gotta protect yourself. Because it was like, if I don't, he may start to fight me. So now I reflect on those events that I did, and I blamed myself for inflicting pain on others, for beating girls. I even beat girls. For beating girls up, beating boys up, being a bully to certain people. Of which I really wasn't. I was just protecting myself. But in my life, I was never bullied. Only because I had that traumatic experience. I was like, if somebody tried, I'm like, man, I'm gonna beat you up, bro. Do not. And they backed off. Sometimes we had to fight, and I wouldn't back off. But every time, if I lost, I would cry though. But even if I did cry, if you wanted to fight again, I will. But I reflected on those events, and I started to blame myself, and I cried. It was like I had a depression state because I was like blaming myself, hating on myself, putting myself inside a shell, blaming myself, saying that you shouldn't show yourself to other people because of the things you've done. You're wrong. You're wrong. Put yourself inside that shell. People don't deserve the pain that you have done. Put yourself away. And I put myself away. And I didn't start to speak to people. It seemed like I was shy. I was shy because in my head I'm like, don't speak to people because of the things you've done. You know, shame on you. I was shaming on me. Of which I don't blame myself. That's how I saw myself. But it's sad that I did. And I wish I could go to that time and just give me a hug and be like, it's okay, Paul. Don't blame yourself. You were just young then too. You were just a kid. Kids fight. Kids do these things. It's not serious, bro. Give myself a kiss on the forehead. Don't get mad. But back to how I saw adults when I was a teenager. That's when I was a teenager, that's when my perspective changed a little bit. Let me say changing, it was changing. But I'm still a teenager even now. I'm 19 years old, but I'm gonna turn 20 on May. And it is May right now. And let me see the date. Oh, I can't see the date while I'm recording, but I think it is the 5th or something like that. And there's like, what? There's 9 days to my birthday, so I'm basically 20 now. So back when I was a teenager, that was when my perspective changed. I was no longer seeing adults as an absolute because I was exposed to so many adults showing that they are not adults. Seeing so many people being emotional, just like a child, acting like a child, getting mad at things like a child, getting mad if they lose certain things like a child. So I'm like, I used to act that way. How are you acting that way? You're far, far ahead of me, but you're acting like what I passed behind me. How is that possible? So it was shaking my perspective. I was like, this is impossible. Until I even saw the closest people, my family. They also have happened to act like children. I mean, they may have responsibilities. They may have responsibilities and stuff, but they still emotionally they are children, and they have traumas and things that they've not dealt with, and from time to time they pop. Of which I do not blame them. Right now, it doesn't affect me anymore. Before, only when I was a child, but when I was a teenager, it changed. Until now, how do I look at so-called adults? I don't see people by age anymore. I don't see people by age as in if you're at this age, you're supposed to be at this level of intellect. It's not true. I'm able to see people as people. That's how I was able to even go to my father and speak with him, because I saw him as a human. I no longer saw him as a father. I mean, he is my father, but I don't see him as, you must be my father. I had no expectations. I understood that when he choked my mother, he choked me. He has his own things that he has to deal with himself, and that is not for me to deal with or to solve. It is his own path that he has to go on. Because I too have been in a raged state, and I cannot even think. I'm just on instinct, like Superman. And I understand that may have been how he has been, how he was at that moment, but he has to deal with those things on his own. That's how I see people now. I see people as just people that have lived unique lives, and they cannot be given a certain title that, oh, you're at this age because of their age, or that you're at this age, oh, that means you are a great person. You're at this age, oh, you're going to be a great person. You're at this age, oh, you're not a great person. No, man. I'm living my life. And with that thinking, I'm the one that can determine if a person is great to me or not. I have that right because I live my life. That's how I view it. I no longer view adults. I don't even have that in my head. I just view kids as they don't have the brain power to understand, the focus to understand the things that I understand. But they can be taught at a young age to understand far more than the normal kids, the general kids. And a teenager is a very powerful being. Look at me. Technically, I'm still a teenager, but all my teenagers years, from 13 till 19, I've been evolving. When I was a kid, sure, I was energetic, full of energy, but I still was in a shell. But when I was starting at my teenager years, it's like I put myself in a much more deeper shell. But more and more, I let myself go as I learned more. Until now, I'm much more freer. I'm much more better. I'm much more evolved. I'm still gonna evolve. So, if you see an adult, so-called adult, like that man I was telling you about, that man is just a baby in a 44-year-old man's body. That man needs to sit down and speak with himself. And he has a lot of baggage. So for him, it may even take a lifetime to solve every single trauma, to let go, to understand, to forgive himself, to take tests, courage to forgiving yourself. It's not just letting go. You have to have the courage to do certain actions that feel like you're gonna fall off a cliff. This is Full Potential 1000, man. And I am Paul Malimabe.